And we are live.
Yay.
Hi, Debbie.
Hey, Sophia, my friend across the pond, the angel across the pond. Loving
Oh,
it.
thank you. Thank you. It's all good company.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so Debbie, I really wanted to connect with you and have a chat with you and a few others, but you're like one of the ones on the top of the list kind of thing. So, because I was really excited to connect with you earlier on this year, because I felt like I was a loner.
Yeah.
You know, and then I saw somebody who looked like me and I was talking the same language and I could understand what they were saying. It's like, hello, Debbie.
Yes. We are all out there. I think we're all kind of finding each other
Yeah,
here, there, and everywhere. We're just kind of showing up for each other. So I am
yeah,
really grateful that you reached out because I was like, and you said you answered. I'm like, why wouldn't I answer?
yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm looking for everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
I was so excited, even just messaging you back. I was just like, oh, she answered.
Regular people.
I
Regular people.
know, I know,
Yeah.
right? It's becoming easier
Hmm.
because now I can discern a lot more. Like I was saying before, like a year and 3 months into my awakening journey, and I feel like I've been fast tracked somehow for the energies I can connect with and the modalities I can work with. And it's exciting. And sometimes I feel, oh my God, I'm not doing enough. And another time I'm thinking, okay, I need a break. I need a break.
Well, I feel like it's part of that whole universal structure, how it expands and then it rests. It expands and it
Right,
rests. So that's
right.
probably one of
Yeah,
the reasons why you feel that way. And
that makes
also,
sense.
I know, 10 years ago when this started for me,
Yeah.
it was really challenging because there weren't as many people that were, out there. And so
Mm-hmm.
it seemed like it took forever for me to get through stuff. But when you say it's a year and a half since you
Yeah.
woke up to this, that just tells me how many other people are waking up. So
Yes.
we've been waiting for you. Like, we're so glad you're here. Oh my goodness. So glad you're here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad I found you, and the other people that I've connected with over the last year. Also, I'm just like so grateful that the synchronicities have lined up to put people in my path that I needed to connect with. I had stuff for them, they had stuff for me, and it's just like it's such a nice back and forth rapport that we've, have with each other. So I'm really, really excited. I'm even more excited for 2021.
I know, I know.
So excited. Okay, so for people who don't know who you are, do you want to introduce yourself and let them know?
Well, my name is Debbie Mack. And I love people. I always tell people that I love people for a living. And that's the greatest joy that I have. I'm a Reiki master teacher, Usui and Angel Reiki. I have both modalities. I'm also a metaphysician. So I love to work with things beyond the physical, like in the highest things beyond the physical.
Mhm.
And I started this little thing called Vivadivine. Actually, it's been with me much longer, but I actually started putting real effort into it.
Mhm.
And it's really about living a divine life. It's about living at your highest self, and that is attainable for every single person. And I just believe that that's the reason why we're here. We're here to learn how to expand our consciousness
Mhm.
and eventually go back to source. So I just love people and I love helping people discover who they really are. Yeah. So however that shows up, however spirit asks me or directs me, because I don't try and do anything on my own. I just am a conduit for spirit to work through. And that is all that I'm here to be. And that's who I am.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely to have you. Welcome.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I've got some questions for you. So I wanted to
Uh-oh.
find out.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. I wanted to find out if, like, in your family, with the modalities that you work with and energies and so forth, and the kind of work that you're bringing through, does
Mhm.
anybody else in your family do that kind of work, or is that just you?
Well, first of all, my family is deeply religious. So I am the black sheep of the family. And so any kind of spirituality outside of religion is really not something that is discussed.
Mm.
However, you know that through our maternal line, a lot of times we do have certain abilities that show up. And not that I can really give too much away, but my mother, I believe, is extremely sensitive
Right.
about certain things. We've had conversations about dreams and things she's seen from a child growing up in Jamaica, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so there is that propensity for the abilities to be there probably with other family members. I think
Yeah.
more than likely they're probably all empaths, but they
Mm-hmm.
really are not tapping into it. So yeah, I'm the
Right.
only person that's really actively doing anything on that kind of level, because
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else is straight religious, and you know it can be
Mm-hmm.
very confining, and I respect their
Right.
choice, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they think I'm strange, and that's okay.
Yeah. It's totally fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But I can totally relate to you as well in
Hmm.
that aspect, because I'm the only one in my family that I know who is taking the spiritual road at the moment.
Hmm.
And I remember my grandmother being very, like, I know the words now to go with what she was displaying at that time. Very, very intuitive, very,
Uh-huh.
very clairvoyant, but it was never like put across to us as
Hmm.
like grandchildren or children to say, oh, this is what this is, you know, and
Hmm.
she would be able to interpret dreams and stuff like that, you know. So
Hmm.
that's like my maternal, my mum's line,
Hmm.
you know. For as far as I know from my dad's line, everyone kind of stick their head in the book and then that's it, no one's looking up.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, I totally get that. So you're not alone.
No, I think it's just part of, you know, I don't know your upbringing, but of course, you know, there are a lot of factors that contribute to a lot of us not really tapping into who we were or who we are from when we were
Mhm.
children. A lot of
Mm.
fear, a lot of superstition, you know, don't
Yes.
do that, you know, the demons and all that kind of stuff,
Mhm.
you know, so that kind of plays into it. But I feel like there's always that child in the family who is different,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you remember when you were little about being different. I knew I was different, but I just didn't say anything because, you know,
Mm.
I was hearing stuff as a child all the time,
Yeah.
not knowing what that was or what ability that was. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just part of the culture, unfortunately, that we're not really encouraged to step into our awareness from when
Right,
we're little.
right. Yeah,
Hmm.
I get that. I was totally such a sensitive person, or
Hmm.
how should I say, still sensitive now. I know what it's called now and how to deal with it, but
Yeah.
in just walking past certain buildings or wherever, it could just literally be going for a walk and you'd get the chills and just, oh my God,
Hmm.
that, you
Hmm.
know. And I would go to my granddad's and there was a certain path I would not walk on because whenever I go past there, I would get the heebie-jeebies. I would
Hmm.
a long way round.
And looking back now, you see the difference. You see
Yeah.
what that was. And you didn't know, as no one could tell you when you were little, like what that is. Oh, yeah, I know. Same story. Hmm.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so let's see. When did you notice that you were having a spiritual awakening? Do you remember?
Um, I didn't know what it was. I think this was probably back in 2013.
Mhm.
I've been going through some personal changes in my life, and just there were things going on. There were sensitive things going on to me, dreams. My Kundalini was waking up. I didn't even know what that was. So I had no idea until I had a moment. Actually, it was yesterday, uh, 2013, where I made this expression to the universe that I wanted to do more.
Right.
And that's when the spiritual realm kind of like showed up and visited me. And that's when I realized, oh, that's what's happening to me. Yeah. So I was oblivious to it for a good 3 years,
Wow.
not really knowing what was going on. And that's when, at 2013, I started paying attention more. And I got a lot of information from people about what to do, how to
Mm-hmm.
ground myself,
Yes.
and then I really opened up to it.
Right.
Yeah. at the end of
Yeah.
2013. So I didn't know.
Awesome. Awesome. And upon your awakening, have you since had any encounters like angels, or some people say spirit guides, you know, have you had anything like that?
The event that happened on this in December of 2013 was the first actual awareness of interaction beyond the physical realm.
Right.
I think I met my guides that particular night. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like, yes, I have, to answer your question. And I feel like I've had specific guidance
Right.
from specific spiritual beings or groups, and all very loving. And I think that's very important to like share with people, because they know there's a superstition that kicks in and it's like,
Right.
ooh, you know, but you can tell the difference. So it's more spiritual guides. It also feels a little bit more planetary, like a different planetary group, very extraterrestrial.
Right.
I know that's a scary word for people, but it has
I
always felt,
know. I
yeah,
know.
very, very like from a different galaxy place
Mm-hmm.
of grouping of people. I
Right.
don't, I haven't really had a lot of interaction with angels per se. I'm not really drawn to that grouping of spiritual or non-physical beings, but it feels very
Right.
extraterrestrial, very energetic. I can say
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm
Okay. Because there's all different groups. There's loads of
Yes.
groups, angelic groups, ET groups, you know. So
hmm
and a lot of them are, well, not, I wouldn't say more than, but they've got physical beings, and then they've got the energetic ones also. So
Yes.
this is what I've learned on my journey so far.
Yes. Yes. Oh, and
Mhm.
elementals.
Oh yes. Oh
Yes,
yes.
because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
a
I
big
did
nature lover.
you
Yeah, and
are. Oh, so
I come across them.
you need to check out Elle. I did an interview with her last week, I think, and she channels elementals.
Oh, neat. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Like they come around and it's just like fun, fun, fun.
Yes. They're very bright and buzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, they really are. Okay, nice. So, you mentioned in the beginning of the video about doing some energy work. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
So the energy work really started with Reiki. And that really helped me because, you know, I needed to get my own healing started. So I was receiving Reiki and eventually became a Reiki practitioner. But it's almost gone beyond that, of course, into the mastership and the teaching. I don't feel like I can really call it Reiki anymore. It's
Mm,
more on the level of just a love frequency. So my guides were very specific in telling me that I would be working with energy and helping people with energy. So it's on the line of holding a frequency
mm-hmm.
and literally being moved into environments to adjust the environment. And it took me a while to realize that's what was happening. And I see,
Right.
especially more so with work environments.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get pulled into somewhere and it's nothing usually like what I'm accustomed to, but
Yeah.
I'm having some kind of energetic catalyzing effect on the people in the group.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of walking with a frequency. It's a conscious awareness constantly of I'm holding a frequency wherever I go, I'm affecting the environment.
Right. That's
Yeah. So
cool.
it's kind of more enlarged.
Yeah.
That's why I'm very persistent in making sure that I keep myself always in a certain spiritual and mental state
Right.
all the time. I really do think super duper high
Mm-hmm.
pretty much all the time. I dip, you know, because I live in Houston, Texas, and I don't know if you guys know where that is, but that is like one of the worst places to drive.
Oh dear.
And so, you know, you're on the freeway and it's like, take a deep breath. Got to stay in that space.
Oh, you need to
So,
visit
yeah,
London then. It's terrible.
yeah, it's everywhere. But yeah, it's a conscious awareness of I have to stay in this frequency. I have
Mm-hmm.
to ground regularly so that
Right.
I don't blow out because I can blow out. meditation keeps me in that frequency. It's persistent work.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
I get that as well with even it's like you go to learn a modality and it almost evolves
Yes.
into something else, like more personal. Because I found that personally for myself, and I've spoken to a few people who've tried modalities from like famous people like Dolores Cannon,
Yes.
and they've found that it's just morphed into something else or evolved into something else that's made it so personal for them, and not discrediting those people who came before, but, adding to what they already brought to us, because it's like with a fresh pair of eyes now from how they would see it back in those days when they were doing it, and now 2020,
Right.
the more like more of an awakening
Hmm.
pair of eyes on what's going on.
Yes.
So I totally get that evolution then of a modality that's been some years old.
Yeah.
Mm,
And I do feel that for some of us, I think like maybe the Reiki or the energy work or even access bars is
yeah,
like the gateway energy training for yourself in order for you to open up and you to get clear for
yeah,
that dynamic energy to flow through. And then it morphs into something that is really designed for you,
right.
you
Yes,
know?
yes, I
So
totally
it's like,
get it.
yeah, I totally get drawn to people. And even I still do Reiki sessions and, even in the COVID area, you can still
Mm-hmm.
safely do this and get into
Yeah, yeah.
people's energy fields and not even touch them
Mm-hmm.
and just be able to see clearly where, they're having a challenge with or what needs to be clear or feel their different etheric bodies and
Yeah,
know what needs to be balanced. So, I mean, it just is I like it because I like people. So,
yeah.
it's natural, it seems, for me to do or to be used this way, by
Mm-hmm.
a spirit. So, yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
will if there's a bigger purpose for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I
Hmm.
I am totally resonating with that. And I have been watching some of your older videos, and in one of them it was talking about the dreams, about upon your spiritual awakening, and having dreams. What's your dream life like now?
It is not as prolific as it used to be. And I just think it's a phase. I think there are times when the dreaming is it's a lot of it
Mm-hmm.
because you're clearing and you're also remembering a
Yeah.
lot of information, because as you're awakening, you're opening up and all of this information is flooding into your consciousness at night. And your guides are also giving you a lot of information in your dreams. So I believe that initially that's why I was dreaming so much and also traveling a lot, astral
Right.
projection
Mm-hmm.
without even trying. So that was I think that a part of the curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
Now it just feels like I dream when it's important
Right.
because the
Right.
dreams, yeah, they're like very pointed. And I'll wake up, I'm thinking, okay, that's a message. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really just good, deep, I call it cosmic sleep.
Right.
I'm just under. And that's where I think I'm plugged in
Right.
to, the energy to recharge at night because I'm constantly balancing things around me. But yeah, the
Yeah.
dreaming has gotten a lot softer, just
Mm.
softer and only when I need something.
Okay, that makes sense. And what could you recommend to a newly awakened soul about when they start receiving dreams?
Keep a dream journal,
Mm-hmm.
get a dream journal because that is probably one of the best ways to get that information out of your head, especially if it's something that's uncomfortable, right?
Right.
Get it out of your head as soon as you can and write it down and then might maybe revisit it a couple of days later. I
Mm-hmm.
always tell people that you really don't have to go to somebody to interpret your dreams. You message. So write down the dreams and also watch your level of fear.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because we are in a fear-filled world and we carry some of that with us into our sleep at night. And sometimes our dreams feels scary, when you're in your dream state, or even before you get into your dream state, and this is not me, this is coming through me right now. When you're
Okay.
into your dream state, create the intention before you go to bed at night to have uh, peace, calm, and love surround you at all times. And create that intention as you go into your sleep, knowing that whatever you face when you cross into the dream state cannot hurt you. But you have to be careful about taking the fear-filled state into that dream state. So
Right.
just focus on peace, love, calm, and take that with you when you go into your sleep.
Great. Would you say that in your dream state that you do manifest like really quickly? Because it is in the spirit world as such, compared to in the physical, when you're trying, when you're doing your manifestations of what you would like. Would you say that in the dream state, then you manifest stuff like really quickly? So if you went to bed being upset or angry or what have you, then you would start manifesting that kind of a thing in your dream time.
Yes. Whatever you're feeling in your waking state, you will take it with you in your sleeping state, either to have an experience of it or to transmute it.
Yeah.
So just being aware of that. I think everybody is different. For me, dreams are not necessarily manifestations for me, or places where I manifest. It's mainly for information gathering,
Right.
and understanding, and problem solving.
Yeah, I guess you just have to figure it out as you go along, what it is for you, because not everybody is the same. So everyone will experience it on another or a different level,
Yes.
to say. Cool. Okay, lovely. Also, what would you say, or what could you say to everyone who's watching, who believe that they are having their awakening in regards to changes in the body, changes in maybe your diet, your skin, and so forth?
Okay. When I first started waking up, some of the things that I noticed that I'd never had happen before, one in particular was my facial structure. I would have this intense like pain in my jaw, and it would only happen when I would get off of work. And I feel like my guides were rearranging things, like, energy in my head was shifting, because if I had this happen at work, I would not be able to work.
Right.
So my whole face has changed a little bit in the last couple of years. And also headaches are a prime side effect of a spiritual awakening, because of the energy.
Right.
All those thoughts that you're having that are not like, I would say, aligned, because you didn't know, right? They're all getting cleared out. So you're going to start having headaches. And I will just say, one of the best things you can do, anything for your body, nature is your gift for your alignment and your awakening, because it's grounding. Nature is not thinking about anything else but being itself. And so it holds a very high vibration. So anytime you don't feel like yourself, or your body is shifting, then most definitely get outside, sit in the grass. And I'm telling you things that they were told to me when I was first waking up. Get in the grass, get around trees, hug a tree. Don't feel like you're strange if you start doing that and people are looking at you like you're crazy. Doesn't matter. Get in nature as much as you can and ground yourself. You can even find, I think, grounding mats where you can, like, at your desk, you can ground yourself. Now, as far as diet, everybody is different. My vibration is so high that I would not be able to survive on a pure vegetarian or vegan diet. I just can't do it. I need to have some kind of substantive protein to ground me. Okay. Everybody is different. So all I can encourage people to do is, your soul knows what it needs to do the work that you're assigned to here. And if you pay attention to your own beingness, then you won't feel moved around by what other people are doing. And you also won't feel the guilt if you're not doing something that they think you should be doing. Okay. This is
Yeah.
your vessel. You know what's best for this vessel. So give your vessel what it needs, not what everybody else thinks it needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Because there,
Yeah.
and I think people that live, you know, other kind of healthy lifestyles, and it's all good because there's nothing really bad. It's just about moderation
Yeah.
and wisdom when it comes to those kind of topics. Just trust your beingness because it needs certain things for it to do the job. I know that if I don't eat a certain type of protein, I will faint.
Right.
And
Right.
it's happened before where I've gotten so enveloped in energy where I just flatlined on the ground. So I have to boost myself with certain kinds of proteins, and I don't feel guilty for it because I know
No,
this
you
is what my
shouldn't.
soul needs.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And it's so easy as a newly awakened soul to get caught up with this person, that person, you know, and it's so important for, as you're saying, to listen to your inner being, what your soul is trying to tell you, communicate to you what your body needs or what it doesn't need. It's like, yes, you can take information from other people, like to see, okay, let me try this out. Let's see if that works for me. But then you still need to have that discernment to say, okay, this is not working out. Maybe I need to not do that.
And I think plant-based diets are amazing. I love them. I love them, but I know I can't sustain the dynamic energy that's coming in me on only that. I'm going to need something a little bit more solid every once in a while to kind of keep me grounded so I don't float off the planet. It's the truth.
I totally get that, because I remember upon my awakening also, I didn't know how to ground. So I would feel like I was just flying away. It's like, why am I feeling like this? Like totally feeling like I was so hungover and having any alcohol whatsoever. But having that feeling of like, oh my goodness, like what's going on?
Yeah.
And then when I asked about that in a group, they said, oh, you need to ground. And it's like, grounding. And like you were explaining, getting out into nature is like one of the best and quickest ways you can do that, right? So yes, I totally agree with that. So let's see what we got next.
I like this. I like the question and answer.
It's lovely. What would you say is the most important thing you think you have learned since your spiritual journey began?
To surrender. That has been my personal lesson, is to surrender. Just allow spirit to just guide me and move me. Not that I was completely resistant,
right,
but really just kind of like let go and just let and see what shows up. And usually when I am in that surrender mode, everything I need shows up.
Yes.
So, and I think sometimes, you know, just from observing other people, I can see where they're like not fully letting go. And I've had people encourage me to do that, by the way. So I've had friends that have said, you know, what are you going to do? You're here. What are you going to do? You might as well just surrender to it and just let everything just unfold in its own beautiful way, in its own beautiful state. So surrender has been the thing that I have learned the most. Surrender and actually gratitude for being here, because for a very long time, somewhere in the middle of my awakening, Sophia, I hated being here. I did not like being here. It was too painful. People were hurting themselves, hurting each other, all the different things you see that, you know, in the world that are happening that create so much fear and pain for people because I'm so sensitive. It was hard for a really long time. I used to have meltdowns.
Yeah, I can imagine.
About that. Yeah. And just like, please take me home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. And I don't know what happened, but there was a really significant shift. I think it's when I finally just surrendered completely. And I said, I open up to being utilized properly by spirit.
Yes.
Everything shifted. It was like, okay, now I know why I'm here. now I really, really can just kind of like walk forward and not feel this resentment that I chose this.
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
would come here? This place is wild, you know? So
trying
it took,
to
yeah,
trying to
it took a,
embrace it.
yeah, it took, and I, I'm honest with people about that, because sometimes I think, when we see each other out there, we think, oh, everything is grand, everything is great. No,
Mm,
sometimes it's hard.
yeah,
Sometimes I didn't want to leave my house because I just I couldn't watch TV. I would just feel the pain of other people, and it was so
yeah,
overwhelming.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what we call the collective pain, I guess.
Mhm.
When you can feel for the whole
Everybody.
everyone that's
Hmm.
going through what they're going through.
Hmm.
you know
Yeah.
so that I know quite a few people who can really tap into that energy, and like you're saying, you really have to make that space for yourself to say, okay,
Yes.
this is not me, like this is not my pain, this is not my
Not me.
pain.
Yes. Hmm. It just shifted one day. It just shifted where I
Mm,
realized I'm not feeling it anymore.
yeah, yeah.
And from that space, it's like I'm more able to give,
Mm,
because I'm not feeling, I'm aware of it. I know it's
yes.
happening, but I'm not feeling it in my etheric body, which was really painful for a really long time.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess that's part of the journey as well, when you don't know what certain things are and you have to just feel through it and find out how to shift these things
Hmm.
or transmute them in some way,
Hmm.
because not everybody has an answer.
No. I will tell people this: one of the most important things that you can learn, it's a tool I learned from one of my teachers, is
Mm.
me, not me.
Yes.
Okay. And it's kind of like, when you're going about your day and everything feels great, and all of a sudden you notice something shifted. Like you
Hmm.
start to feel sad, or you start to feel angry, and you're questioning yourself because you realize I don't have anything to feel sad or angry about.
Yeah.
So that is an opportunity to learn me or not me.
Right.
Because I was getting a hold of not me and thinking it was me. So when you can ask yourself, when you start to feel differently, and just be still, like, is this me?
Hmm.
Or is this not me? And you'll get the answer. And if it's
Hmm.
not you, you can still sit with it for a moment, because obviously, there's no separation. So you just can't push it away, because if you push it away, you'll get
Right.
resistant. Just kind of like sit and like, okay, this is not me, but I'm holding whatever this is and
Hmm.
transmuting it in love.
Right.
And before you know it, that sensation is gone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
me or not me is a really good tool.
Hmm. Okay, sounds great. Okay, so do you think you know what your main mission on planet Earth is at this time?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am still figuring out or allowing the information to come through.
Hmm.
There are certain things I know I do like to do. So I feed, like I love to write and I love to share information. Um, so I'm allowing those things to take precedent and put
Right.
energy in those things. But I went through a period, where I thought, oh, I'm supposed to do this, supposed to write a
Hmm.
book, I'm supposed to do a TV show. And I mean, all these high ideas, which were not bad, but that was my ego,
Right.
because I'm thinking I should be doing what everybody else is doing. And then I had a moment where I just kind of like stopped and I just said, that doesn't feel like me.
Right.
So let me see what it is that spirit wants to express through me. And so I just
Hmm.
leave that space open. I just live my life. I'm just, like a lot of people, just trying to make sure, hopefully, that I am contributing something of worth that supports another person's spiritual expansion or
Yeah.
the collective expansion,
Hmm.
however that may show up.
Yes.
I'm just open to it. I
Yeah.
don't try to put it in a box.
That's
Yeah.
when we get into a bit of a pickle, then trying to
Hmm.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the resistance starts coming out.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
So let's see. La, la, la. How do you maintain this newness from recognizing that you were asleep. Now you awaken to these new ideas and energies and all this new information. How do you like maintain the whole, flow of information? Because you literally get bombarded, I guess.
It's a lot quieter now.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways I maintain it is I meditate daily. And it's I call it plugging in
Yes.
to the mainframe to not only keep my energy body in a balanced state to where I don't feel a lot of that stuff like I used to, but also to get whatever information I need that needs to come through and be expressed, or just hold an idea that might show up. So that's really what helps me stay focused. My meditation practice, I don't play with it.
Yeah, I love meditate.
Oh, I don't know if people really understand, like, okay, I'm looking at you in the camera. If you're not meditating on a regular basis, people, and you're not consistently doing it, because if you're consistent with it, it just takes on this whole, I can't even describe it. But right? It's like I'm trying to go to bed at night because I meditate at night, because I'm like, I got to go to bed because I get to sit for like an hour and a half and just
I do that.
be in. And it's that communication, and you open up to especially oneness. I have conversations with source where I don't even utter a word. I just like let my beingness be felt. If I don't feel like I am completely 100%, situated in my spirit, I just sit in that space and I just allow whatever it is to work with me, and just like set me straight. And then it's like, to bed. It's just, that is my prime way of staying focused. I also encourage people to find other people that you can regularly spend time with, that you are doing something that helps your growth. And that could be even once a week, just sitting with a study group or a book group where you're speaking about something spiritual to kind of feed your mind something consistently, so it's not being shifted by the other stuff that's out here.
Right.
So find like-minded people and spend time with them and talk to them. That just helps, I feel, ground that whole experience of being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you agree with me in saying that upon finding out that you are having a spiritual awakening, not to go jump onto these courses that people are offering for X and X amount of money per month? Because I ran into that, and it was almost like divine intervention that just whooshed and stopped me from doing it. And then I realized if I had carried on with that course that I signed up to, I would not be where I am now on my journey. I'd be so like far behind, around there. Because where I got cut off, like I felt it was divine intervention. I found other ways of getting the info that my soul needed. It's almost like the tracking system just kicked in. It's like navigating, showing me where to go, which video to watch, which person to listen to. And even if you're listening to like 5 different people, you might not resonate with everything they say, but might one subject from each of those persons, and then you can put your own little collage together, and then you're on your way. I felt like I was just catapulted into my journey from picking information from all different walks of life of people without paying for anything. And it's almost like my guidance system is telling me, do not go and spend money on learning. There is so much information, so many people making videos about all of this spiritual awakening stuff and all other things as well. And once you get into that flow of receiving, then it almost like filters through what you need for yourself. You know, I'll stop talking now and let you talk.
No, what you are describing is the
Yeah.
perfect example of your soul knows
Mm,
what it needs to accomplish its task here.
yeah.
And if you would just trust that, you would just be kind of like moved to certain things. You just notice you'll find yourself like watching a video
Yes.
for on a specific subject for like maybe 5 hours. And you're just like, where did that come from? That's because it's your soul filtering what you need. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with these amazing classes for
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, but at the same time, people should really just trust that there's always going to be information specific for them. I was
Mm-hmm.
like you, books would show up on certain topics that would just come my way,
Yeah.
or I'd get like an idea, like an idea would pop into my mind. I'll start reading about it on the internet, like, oh, that's what I needed to know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just being able to trust
Yeah.
and to also create the intention and the opening for that information to come directly to you for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I found what I was doing, I was saying, okay, so I found out that I have spirit guides. I'm like, okay, spirit guides. My house is not quiet. I have 4 children. So it's just like there's no time to sit quietly and listen unless they're in bed or they're all out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say stuff like, okay, spirit guides, I want to know about this, but my house is so busy, I can't hear anything. So you can't even bother try to talk to me because I won't hear anything. So how about you show me stuff like on YouTube or on the Facebook or in a song or just a TV advert or anything that will catch my attention? Oh my God, it worked.
Yes. Yes. And you're tapping in, you're letting the spirit world know that you're tapping in, you're open to get the information you need to do what you have to do here. And
Yeah,
so that's all you're going to get, just for you, just for
yeah,
you, just for you.
yeah,
And you might have things show up, and I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Things will show up and you'll start reading it and you're just like, that does not resonate, or I am not interested in that.
yeah.
That's how you know that might not be for you. It's for somebody
Mm-hmm.
else. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it will always show up what you need.
Yeah,
The classes will show up, what you need. And when those classes show up, and if they're a lot of money, you will find that it will just happen that you end up in that class.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If you just stay open to that truth that you already have access to
Right.
everything you need for your
Mm-hmm.
journey.
Yes,
Hmm.
that's one of the main phrases that I've learned on this journey is that I need to let myself know that I have everything I need.
You
I
do.
have everything I need now,
Hmm.
and I always say it. I say it every day. I write it down, to the point where now it's just a part of me now. I have everything I need now.
Yeah.
And if I can't
And I'm grateful.
have everything I need now, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and grateful and I have everything I need now. And I
Hmm.
actually put myself to sleep saying that I'm so happy and grateful when I can't fall asleep sometimes. I was like, I'm so happy and grateful.
I love that.
It works. It
I
works.
love
It
that.
does, because my heart gets so happy and my body relaxes. And it's just like this gratitude just comes over me. And it's just like the perfect lullaby to go
Hmm.
to fall asleep
Hmm.
with. Yeah. It's
We should talk about that.
Yeah, it's amazing how
Yeah.
the word gratitude and feeling grateful
Hmm.
just does something, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a magnet for miracles. I mean,
Mm,
it just seems like the more grateful you are, even when you might think you don't have things to be grateful for, it just like expands everything else. I cannot explain it,
yeah.
but I have lived it. I'm always, always grateful. And I was going to tell you about what you're doing at night,
Yeah.
how, you say that to yourself at night. Feeding that subconscious mind, stuff like that, is something that I've always believed is part of the reason why I kind of pushed through a lot of things,
Mm,
reseeding that mind, because it was just so fixed on other things. And so
yes.
sometimes people ask me, well, how did you, shift so deeply? I said, because I would go to bed at night telling myself certain things,
Mm-hmm.
just repeating it over and over and over and over until it just became a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It
we're just
really
gonna tell
works.
everybody these tips because I'm just
Yeah.
excited when I
Yeah.
see people like waking up and I'm like, okay, here's what the next thing you can try and do to kind of like push through some of the other things. Like if you're going through, you know, some internal issues, go to bed at night and speak directly to it about what you want it to be like,
Yeah.
and feed that subconscious mind, feed your body that sensation of achieving what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Feel that relationship, feel that great job, feel the prosperity,
Right.
feel that sensation and get used to it. And that just brings all of that stuff to you at the same time, releasing all the lack, all the fear and discord and all of that at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah.
such powerful beings. We just never knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
it's,
never knew.
it's like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
But I also do that as soon as I wake up, because I was listening to Sadhguru, and
Mm.
he was talking about when you wake up in the morning and you realize you're still in your body, you're still alive, you're still here, be grateful for it.
Oh,
And ever since I heard that, it just really stuck with me. And as soon as I wake up in the morning or my alarm goes off or what have you, and I wake up, and the first thought comes into my head is, I'm so happy and grateful. I love it. I really do. And I can get through my whole day just with those words. I'm so happy and
it,
grateful. I really
it's a
do.
good way to start the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is. I love it. I really do. Yeah, I'm so happy now. Oh.
See?
Vibing high.
Yes. These are the kind of conversations that I always encourage people to have with their friends.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
spiritual conversations. Even if you don't feel like you know a lot, it doesn't really matter. It's just
Mm-hmm.
putting yourself in that space of people who live, think, and breathe above the fear and the negativity of the
Yes.
lower frequencies. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
keeps you buoyant and it keeps you more joyful and it shifts your energy too.
It really does. I'm a part of a group that does that every other week. We call it the chit chat, the Friday chit chat. So every other week we Zoom up, and everyone gets connected, and we just talk about what's been going on and how we feel, what we've been experiencing, and somebody else might be experiencing that, and we just like bounce ideas off each other and stuff like that. And it really, really helps to know that stuff that you're going through, there's other people who are actually going through that as well. And you can find that, oh, you can give some hints and tips to this person, or they can give it to you. And it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's such a nice feeling to be able to give back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as well as receiving, but it's really nice to give back as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really love that. I've been told that I'm one of those people who give too much, but do I know what giving too much is?
Of
No,
course,
but
honey.
I know boundaries. I love to give. I love to make surprise birthday parties and all of those kind of things. I love doing those kind of things because it's my joy to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know how to set my boundaries to say no. Not always. I had to work on it. I
Mm-hmm.
really had
Mm-hmm.
to work on it because when you're that giving kind of person, you want to say yes, 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 yes. And
Mm-hmm.
then you'll find that those people who are not for your best, um, intention, they haven't got best intentions for you, then you fall into that trap of giving, giving, giving them, and they never give anything back to you. Not that you want them to give stuff back to you, but it's not nice to just give, give, give and never receive anything back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that with the energies, it needs to be a give and take to have that nice balance. Yeah.
Boundaries are important because we have bodies.
Mm.
And because we have bodies and our bodies run on this energy, when we are giving without um, the exchange,
Yes.
right? We get depleted and then we feel it in
Mm.
the feel it in the physical body. So that's why we have to have boundaries. Um, Outside of having a body, then the energy, it kind of flows a little bit differently. but boundaries are important where we are, because not everybody is working on, or aware that there's a balance that they can achieve.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people that when they're taking, they want energy because they're lacking energy. And so that's why you got to create a boundary, because the boundary is good for two reasons. It protects you, but it also helps that person feel what they might really need and hopefully start going within themselves.
Yes.
So that's why, we got to have those boundaries laced with love, like, no, not enough. This is where we have to go, because you're going to deplete dynamic energy on this end. But if I didn't have a body, you could have it. But, yeah. So that's why we have to have boundaries.
Yes, definitely. I'm resonating with that totally. Okay, so let's talk about another part of an awakening sense, I would say. When you start having your awakening, you start to develop these extra sensory perceptions about you. You start hearing more, feeling more, seeing more kind of thing. And this is what I've come to learn. They're called the clairs. Yeah. So could you tell us a little bit about the clairs?
I think the clairs are kind of fun. Once you move past the whole superstitious part of it and realize that you have 5 physical senses, but then you have unlimited spiritual senses. And that's normal. Intuition is a clair. It's a knowingness, right? But we feel it in the body. And so once we start to demystify them or take the superstitions away, it's easier to embrace them. Now, I will still say that I'm not too keen on seeing things. And that's a childhood fear I am still working on. But, the clairvoyance shows up for me in my sleep. But clairaudience is the thing that from childhood, I've always had the ability to hear things or frequencies that nobody else could hear. Clairsentient, clairsentience, that sensation, that I definitely have. The claircognizant, knowing, I can't remember what the smelling one is. I only get the smelling one every once in a while. And the tasting one every once in a while. But I think my predominant one is hearing.
Yeah, I think mine is as well. It's mine probably an equal match to the clairsentience with my clairaudience. Yeah, because I think they work together quite nicely. They complement each other. So
yeah, you can feel people. Like, I know if so-and-so is having a great day, or if so-and-so is not doing well, or if I just like think about someone, I can sense what they're going through, what their day is like, and so those are good things, because in the context of wholeness, of oneness, it's really good, because that you can really support people, because if I can feel someone, then it's kind of like, well, I feel like I can support them in that moment. I don't go tapping into people like, I want to support you. No, it's whatever shows up, I respond to it.
It's almost like you're going about your day and you just start thinking about someone for no apparent reason, isn't it? Yeah. And you think, oh, am I thinking about that person? It's like, give them a call, give them a text, give them a shout, check on them, It's
communication, telepathy. Telepathy is another one that's amazing to have, conversations with someone that is at a distance, work things out with someone. I mean, outside of the body, it's just limitless. And like I say, if we can demystify and take some of that fear out of it, because like, oh, that's bad. It's like, it's how you use it, and it's what you use it for. That makes a difference.
Yeah, I guess with all the conditioning that we have in this world and projections, I mean, even since childhood, it kind of puts up a wall for you to try to receive these things that you are entitled to these feelings
and part of your
connections.
Part of who you are.
Yeah, but with all that conditioning and projection, it's just like it makes you almost feel guilty, like, oh, no, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to listen to that, or I'm not going to read that, I'm not going to look at that, or I'm not going to listen to her when she's talking about spiritual stuff. You know, you
Yeah.
get that kind of that thing that comes in the back of your mind to say, no, don't listen.
Yeah. Oh, it's bad or it's evil.
Yeah.
You know, I can't tell anyone what to think or feel, but as someone who has dropped the fear factor about those things and experienced a lot on that range, because, you know, there are things that are a little bit heavier
Yeah.
and there are things that are lighter. But to me, it's like it's a line of love. And all I have to do is hold love and no fear, because fear does not exist really. And so it takes all of that fear out of those abilities. Again, using them appropriately for other people, not using it on other people, because that, you know, you
Right.
can misuse things. So it's always use it to the benefit of yourself and others.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Lovely. So let's talk about energy vibration. How would you explain to a newly awakened soul what an energy vibration is, and how do you deal with it? Like, say, for example, if you needed more energy vibration, how would you go about getting more of that?
That's a good question,
Yeah.
because I don't necessarily get energy. I create it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am a source unto myself, an extension of source.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally have just opened up my own energetic space, just expand it along with the awareness that I'm also expanding within the creative space. So
Yes.
it's not so much I'm trying to pull it in,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to expand from what I have.
Yeah.
Because I think
It's
we're
always
very,
available.
yeah, we're very like this most of the time, you know?
Mm.
But we forget we can also be like this and open it
Yes.
up. So you go within, and to me, it's like a light that just gets brighter and brighter and brighter and just expands. And I can see my body just vibrating and expanding out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it's from within. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Yeah, because we're not separate.
No.
We're all connected. So we just need to tap in really into
Hmm.
whatever it is what we want to do. If you want to learn how to paint, you can tap into painting. You want to learn a different language, you can tap into it. It's like whatever
Yes.
you can think of is all available.
Yes.
Just need to tap in. Yeah, so lovely. Let's see now. We I actually had something about surrender, but we covered that already.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we actually covered all of the questions I had on the surrender.
Those are amazing questions.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just like, I think that might be it. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay. How do you move from okay, this might be a good one. So how do you move from, say, level 1 to level 2, where consciousness is concerned, after you become awakened?
There are levels.
How would you explain it?
There are levels. Okay, so I only think there are levels when you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will share this. Imagine yourself already at your highest self. Okay. Wherever you are, just start imagining your highest self. And it takes all the levels out of the way. We still have to talk about levels because we're still here, right?
Yes.
We're in the world of form. So we have to talk about levels to differentiate where we are. Because I've talked about, and I don't like to do it. I don't like to talk about
Mm-hmm.
dimensions, but that's how some people will understand certain things.
Yes.
But in honesty, you're already there. You're just having the journey of these different spaces that you're in to get there,
Mm-hmm.
but you're already there. And you'll oh, you'll know that you're getting closer as you look behind you. Okay. It will hit you on one of those quiet moments of, I'm not where I was 2 years ago. I'm not dealing with those things I was working through. So I wouldn't say look at it as levels, look at it as phases of your consciousness expanding to your realization of your highest self.
Nice. I love it.
Look at it that way.
I love
Your
it.
mind is just getting more and more clear.
Mm-hmm.
And so as your mind gets clear, you start seeing different things. You start seeing things that you wouldn't see on this level. You start seeing a different level. But it's just that your mind is just opening up more to
Yes.
the truth of what you really are.
Yes. Beautiful. I love it.
That was not me. My third eye is itching right now. Did I tell you about leak? Just be open.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so we can round up with could you leave us some words of encouragement today for the collective?
What would spirit want the collective to know? That they are not, this is so important, they are not the sum of the worst ideas of themselves. Okay? That's not who you are at all. You are really and truly an amazing and beautiful being. So resplendent and bright that it's hard to conceive of that. But you have to know deep within you, that's who you are. And if you can get into that space, even in your moments when you're questioning yourself, when you can't forgive yourself, and just know that there is something beautiful about me, and feed that tiny little light that's in there, just keep feeding that light, it will start to grow and expand and push aside and make it very clear that you are not the things that have happened to you.
Yes.
Okay. And hold that truth every single day. Every single moment you find yourself slipping, just say, no, that is not who I am. That is not who I am. And you can't give up. You can't. You may stall, you may have a setback, but you cannot give up. It is not possible for you to fail at this.
Right.
At all. You cannot fail.
Love it.
You cannot fail. That's it.
Love it. Awesome. I love it. That's going to be so encouraging for people to hear, because we almost feel like there's a right and a wrong. And are we doing it the right way? And if we're doing it the wrong way, how do we get to, get on the track of doing it the right way? So
get one-on-one with source, get one-on-one with that, and just say, this is a thought I want to think. I want to think like the apex, the core, the beginning, the end of it all. I want to think that individually, not what Tom, Dick, John, Harry, Jane is doing, what you are connected to. And if people will just trust that connection, because that connection will always serve the highest good through you.
Yes.
If you just stick with it, no matter what.
No matter what.
Stick with it.
Oh, I love it.
And thank you, Sophia, for sticking with it.
Yes,
thank you for this. You are doing amazing, 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 amazing.
Thank you. And thank you to people like you who are willing to, give the newly awakened ones the time of day, to have these kind of discussions and stuff.
They're already amazing. They're amazing. I just am grateful that I can hopefully make it a little bit easier for people, because I know what it was like 10 years ago, where I spent maybe 6 years by myself figuring things out and not really having a community to really embrace, to kind of like help me. That eventually showed up.
Yeah.
Right. But there's so many more people now that are like coming into the awareness of what they are, that it's catalyzing so many people. So I'm just excited to see it. You know, whatever I can do, whatever I can share, or whatever comes through spirit to share, I am always a willing vessel.
Lovely. Oh, I love you. I love it.
I love you. I love you too. I love you too. I'm just going to sit back and watch, because I will tell you this real quick before we end. My agreement with the universe, with spirit, was this: I want to help one person feel this, and that one person can help millions. I don't want to help millions. I just want to help one person. So I get to sit back and hopefully help one person's, and I get to watch, and it could be you. I get to watch you all just kind of like flood the consciousness with this awareness that is growing. And then I can go to my little planet and just like sit and have a space Mai Tai and go, okay, I'm on vacation now. But yeah, that was my one agreement. One person, and then they can help millions. Awesome. And I get to watch.
Oh, that's really nice. I love it. Oh my gosh, I love everything about you.
Thank you, my sister. I love you very, very much. I really do. I'm so glad we met.
Yes, I am like over the moon that we made that connection, and it was just by a random video.
No. Yeah, Kristen Netapak. Yep.
So yeah, so lovely having you. I am so happy and grateful you were able to make it, and happy and grateful for you to be here and sharing all of your knowledge and wisdom with the collective. I will put your details in the description box if anybody wants to get in touch with you, check out your work, see what you're up to. I know you're on Instagram like every day.
Because stuff gets flowing in. I see things all the time.
And we appreciate it as newbies, you know, we really appreciate those kind of content that you put out. I mean, from me personally, I love it. I look forward to seeing what's going to come out the next day from you. So I
spirit driven.
Look forward to it. Always look forward to it. So guys, check out Debbie Mack on Instagram. She's on YouTube. Your Instagram name Vivadivine, and I'll put that down in the description box so you can check her out later on or what have you. And definitely we have to do this again sometime.
Yes. I don't want to put the script, because now I want to be the one that asks the question. So that's what we're going to do next time.
Okay, I'm good with that.
We got some things to talk about, lady.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. I look forward to it. I'm so happy. Right. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for coming on, and we will talk soon.
Yes. Have a wonderful, wonderful night there.
Yes, and you can see you still got daytime, so
well, yeah, but that's my background. But yeah, it's still a little bit bright out there. So you have to go to bed.
Yeah, maybe in about 15 minutes I'll just chill out for a bit.
Yeah, okay.
And then I'll do my meditation.
Yes. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you.
And thank you too. And we'll speak soon.
Yes. All right.
Take care, my darling.
Night.
And you too. Take care.
Bye.